The pursuit for energy amidst climate change concerns forms the basis of our conversation today. Joining me in studio is a duo of nuclear advocates who've taken their time to join us here in studio to further the conversation around nuclear energy. This is Top Set. Karibuni sana.
Thank you.
Maybe we could start with first things first, the pleasantries. If you could introduce yourself and of course tell us the area of your expertise.
I'm Diana Kamadi. I'm a nuclear advocate. I did pure chemistry at the University of Nairobi around 2 weeks ago.
All right.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Karibu sana.
My name is Lena Onyango. I am a completing student at Kenyatta University. I took accounting. I am also a volunteer at EAARP and a nuclear advocate.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us. Now, you've said you're a volunteer at EAARP. Perhaps you could tell us what that stands in for.
Okay. EAARP is Eastern African Association for Radiation Protection.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Now, as a nuclear energy advocate in Kenya, what exactly inspired you to join the field and to also become an advocate of the same?
I believe I am pro-nuclear, for one. Yeah, I believe in the benefits that could come with establishing a nuclear power plant in the country.
All right.
And I am championing for them. I 100% advocate for them.
All right. How about you?
I'll say, first of all, nuclear will solve so many of our economic problems. It is safe, it is clean, it is reliable. And also being a nuclear power advocate is also fun, I would say.
It's also fun.
It's also fun.
All right. Now, when you talk about nuclear energy, perhaps the question would be, what are some of the benefits or advantages that nuclear energy would have to a growing economy like Kenya's?
First of all, I will take you back to countries like China. If you notice, China is a growing country.
Yes.
So far, so many things are cheap. The transport system is cheap. So nuclear is clean, it's reliable, it is safe. It's carbon free compared to other sources of energy.
All right.
Yes.
I would say, economically, we are going to expect a significant drop in the charges for electricity than we are currently experiencing. At the moment, electricity is so high. So in say China they pay 4 cents for a kilowatt of electricity, while in Kenya we are paying 25 shillings. That's a lot considering we're still a third world country and China is a first world country. So if we aim to get there, we can only do what our predecessors do.
All right.
Yeah.
And that means that we have to look for a way to invest in nuclear energy so that we can reduce energy and also increase consumption of the same. Maybe
Yes.
boost different industries that are currently dormant or energy related, right? Oh, that would be nice. But the question would be, as we do all that and as we consider doing nuclear energy, we also have to look at the landscape, Kenya's entire landscape. Now, Kenya has very interesting or unique geographical characteristics, right? Us being the tourism hub, us being almost 100% green energy, and many other interesting aspects that we have. And aren't you concerned about the perception or the outlook that critics may have about introducing maybe a nuclear power plant in the country?
I would say so many people don't understand what exactly nuclear is, and that's why advocacy comes in. Because when so many people hear about nuclear, they ask me, are you talking about bombs? So our job is to translate the language from a scientific knowledge to a point where even the common man can be able to understand. And that's why African nuclear advocacy comes in as the child to Eastern African Association for Radiation Protection.
Okay.
Yes.
That's nice. How about you?
In the geographical aspect,
Okay.
this has been something that has been long in the planning, like it's been coming. So they have done surveys for the perfect place that we could establish this nuclear power plant, they established along the coastal areas. So they settled on Kilifi. They settled on Kilifi because it is an area where people can be moved.
Okay.
Yeah, people can be relocated.
All right.
Yes, so it's appropriate to set up the power plant in such an area without disrupting normal human activity.
Okay, all right. That is actually very insightful, right? That's very insightful. But along the same line, right? I think critics will also bring the whole question about accidents, right? Within our lifetime, we've seen a couple of nuclear accidents that have happened, right? We're talking about the Ukraine accident and many other things have happened, right? So, in an economy like Kenya, or let's say a democracy like Kenya, where sometimes due to mismanagement of many other resources and many things, we do get breaking news regarding a problem here, a challenge there, and something here. With regard to nuclear energy, we all know how costly an accident can be. So what are some of the measures that you're putting as you do your advocacy or within your advocacy to also raise awareness that, hey, there can be accidents, and what are those potential solutions that you possibly also speak for in order to prevent such accidents?
As you've mentioned, we are members of Eastern Africa Association for Radiation Protection.
All right.
So when I talk about radiation protection, I say we are championing for safe, secure, and peaceful applications of nuclear technologies. And by so doing, we have so many experts like physicists, we have chemists, we have engineers who are there to curb measures that when you have a nuclear power plant in Kenya, it won't affect you or anyone else living around it.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, that would be nice. How about you?
I second what she
Second
said.
what she said.
Yes.
That would be nice. Now, Kenya has made very, very significant strides towards going green, especially to the fact that it is a leader in the continent of preaching for climate change mitigations and green energy and many other things. So, in your opinion, the introduction of nuclear energy, what do you envision Kenya's position on the global stage would be, especially with regard to achieving maybe complete green energy and with the introduction of nuclear energy? What do you think will be Kenya's posture on this?
We've mentioned that nuclear energy is carbon free, it's clean. So in reducing introducing the hazards that come with the production of electricity as it is existing, we can say we will be climbing the ladder on the climate change run. Is it a run? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we will be more in tune with the world in its efforts to provide a greener earth. Yes.
Well, that would be interesting, right? You do not want to be a leader in promoting for green energy and also advocating for something that isn't green energy, isn't it? Now, among, at least from my knowledge about running a nuclear power plant for the same, we have nuclear waste, right? And in disposing of nuclear waste, maybe that's generated maybe by a power plant or anything, what are some of the, since you're about radiation protection and all that, do you also advocate for like safe sites to store nuclear waste, and how the whole policy around the storage and around storage of nuclear energy, waste and nuclear?
So with the determination of a site where the nuclear plant is going to be set up, all these factors are put into consideration. So if they have decided, say we're setting up a nuclear power plant here in Rongai, they have considered how the nuclear waste is going to be disposed of. Yeah, so in the site, Kilifi, that has been chosen as at now, all these factors have been put into consideration. So this site is going to be enough for all things pertaining to the power plant.
Okay.
Yes.
So everybody will be safe.
Yeah.
Everybody will be safe.
Everybody will be safe. Now, you had mentioned that you do also participate in citizen sensitization with regard to nuclear energy. So how do you normally approach that? Is it like an event that you hold and ask people to come so that you could teach them about the benefits of nuclear energy? Or is it that when you're doing your advocacy, you maybe place a tent somewhere where there's a significant number of people passing, and then you have conversations with everybody? How do you approach towards talking with local communities?
I will say a month ago we had an event, first of all, at the University of Nairobi.
Okay.
You know, students are easy to talk to. So we did our first event there. We had banners, we had t-shirts, we had bucket hats. So anytime someone will say that, and I'm like, I want that shirt, I want. So either way, they're wearing the shirt, you're still advocating for nuclear energy. So the other time we had another event at the street, Aga Khan Walk, and we had our t-shirts still, and our banner, so it was easy to approach Enya because even people are curious to know what are you talking about. So I would say it was not such a challenge. People were easy, they took it easily.
All right.
Yeah.
And what about reception? Because they're approaching somebody to talk about nuclear energy, and is that person also understanding about what you're talking about and being on board with the aspect of nuclear energy? So what do you think is the correspondence between the two?
So talking about the recent events that we had, I'll refer to the street event. We were approaching random people on the streets, asking them what they know about nuclear. Surprisingly, they know a lot. They know a lot. Yes, many of them were pro-nuclear. Some of them didn't know what you were talking about, but we explained to them. We tell them what this is. Why we are advocating for it to be brought to our country, how it's going to impact them as an individual.
Okay.
These are the things that we think resonate most with the common mwananchi.
All right.
Yeah.
So is there any event in the foreseeable future that's coming or you're preparing for one?
Yeah, we have so many events coming up.
Well, perhaps you could
So many
outline them
things.
for us so that we also plan to ensure that we attend.
It's in the
Oh,
planning
do
It's
that.
in the
phase.
planning phase, but
Okay.
we're still planning to do a lot of street events.
Okay.
Actually, we want to convince you to come and also join us, and also the other members to come and join
All
us.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice. So given Kenya's existing infrastructure with regard to energy, right, with geothermal, with KenGen, Kenya Power, when you're introducing nuclear energy through I think there's a body that is preparing for nuclear energy. Are you thinking about construction of new infrastructure or updating of old ones? Or how do you want to bridge between existing infrastructure plus the one that is oncoming? Because I do believe as you advocate for nuclear energy, you also have to consider infrastructure, right?
It's a completely new aspect because when you're talking about nuclear is uranium,
Okay.
and the other forms of energy are turbines.
Yes.
So it's a completely new other aspect where we're dealing with atoms and the nucleus and all those things. And at the moment we have a body, Nuclear Power Energy Agency,
Okay.
who are one of our stakeholders. We also have Kenya Nuclear Regulatory Authority.
Okay.
So we are bringing in something new, completely new.
Completely new.
Completely new.
So with completely new means also new forms of technologies, right?
New forms of technologies.
And when it comes to disseminations, because I'm thinking that already there is a network of electricity dissemination, isn't it? The one that Kenya Power uses. So are you looking at bridging the two, like once you've created energy from the power plant, now having the delivery mechanism being used by Kenya Power, or how are you looking to bridge the two?
In the long run, we will definitely need the support of Kenya Power because these things can't run with. They are, some of them are electrically run. So we will need the facilitation of these other electrical bodies. So this is why we're trying to bring everyone on board because kidole kimoja hakivunji. We have to be in unison.
In concert, yes. That is actually very, very interesting. Yeah. So perhaps when bringing the conversation to a close. Now you've been ladies and ladies in science. maybe I could ask, what has been your experience while undertaking, especially you, since you did a scientific course? What has been your experience within the field, and how do you envision bringing more ladies to join you, of course, in the scientific fields?
First of all, I would say it's fun. I'm not the only lady. At the moment, science is growing. Women in science is becoming a thing at the moment.
Yes.
It's no longer like the way you will tell someone you're doing chemistry and they're like, oh, you're doing chemistry. But at the moment, I would say we are a growing field.
Right.
So the only thing we need to do is to encourage the young girls not to fear science. Science is fun, science is facts. And like I mentioned before, it's unlike law and okay, not accounting, but law is more of opinions. So I'm hoping to see more women to join us as a team.
All right. How about you? Because someone may argue accounting is also scientific.
Actually, it is. You had that argument.
Yeah, I would argue that it's also scientific.
I don't really think accounting is scientific, but it can come into science in the financial aspect when there's money involved. Yeah, but it's been an interesting venture because I feel like I've gone from one extreme to another. Yeah, but it's been interesting. I'm having fun learning. Yeah, it's great.
You had mentioned about opportunities for mastering, for example, or for specialization, something to do with nuclear economics. Could you briefly describe what that would be?
Nuclear economics it entails the economical aspect of nuclear energy. It's mainly about budgets. Economics is money. How it fits into the economic budget, say, of the country. The financial constraints that are going to come with it, and mainly the handling of the finances that
around
are
nuclear
attached
energy
around nuclear energy.
All right, how about you? Is there any opportunity for specialization that you envision that you could possibly take?
Of course. And I'm happy because at the moment, so many applications are women.
All right.
So it's a good opportunity for people to come and join also, because at the moment they're willing to sponsor so many women who are willing to do nuclear.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Perhaps as we bring the conversation also to a close, right? How does one become a nuclear advocate, of course, with EAARP?
It's simple. You talk to me.
Self-drive. You have to be self-driven.
All right, maybe perhaps you could plug in maybe the ways they could reach you and have a conversation to see if it is possible to join you.
We have our social media handles.
Nuclear Advocacy on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn.
All right.
Yes, so you can find us at Africa Nuclear Advocacy on all platforms.
Yes. All right, thank you for taking the time and answering some of the questions we have.
Thank you.
It has been a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, the conversation around nuclear energy, as much as it had started a while back and is still ongoing, we were still very, very optimistic about its ultimate conclusion, be it the introduction of a nuclear power plant in the country that will indeed lead to the reduction of energy costs that eventually may spiral into introduction of new economic ventures and, of course, the growth of different industries within the country. Equally, as you've heard, there are areas of expertise that you can involve in, especially for women in science, because as from what I've heard, the opportunities are ripe and the opportunity is present. So all you have to do is just jitume. Take the opportunity, talk to the relevant institutions and the people involved, and you'll be able to get something positive for you to do. We've also seen about the introduction of something called nuclear economics. Right? I wasn't even aware of such a field, but you know what? I'm totally excited to learn more and, of course, to see what that offers to the country. For Top Seat, I have been Joseph Ijao.